Fine. So we are going to see these. Okay. Uh, just basic cleaning. Okay. We were already seeing some of the uh, row operations and all those things, and we'll just get our visuals. First visuals created. What we were seeing the row operations in the Power Query editor. Okay, different operations we were just seeing. So today, we will, yeah. So one of the question, Sekhar asked, right? That question was actually how we can, if we are just selecting any of the, column, right? Any of the column we are selecting. So it is started, right? Okay, yeah, recording is started already. So, okay, fine. If we are, so the Sekhar's question was, if we are selecting any of the column, right? So what will be the, uh, which column will be removed from this, if you are just doing the row operation and selecting a column, revenue maybe, so you can see that there are so many duplicate rows, 0, 0, 0, 0, all of these having duplicate maybe for this column, right? And if we are just removing this, like remove duplicates, and we have the same key, okay, or we are just removing these, all of these, right? Uh, and we are doing the remove rows, duplicates. So which row will be removed among the all of these, this one, right? So which row will be removed? So in this case, right, we don't have anything, right? We just which row will be left in the uh, data set? That was his question. Okay, and this question even, I even never thought of this question. So, but what logical thinking we used to work on, right? If we have some data set, and if we want to do some if you want to remove some data, maybe, so we have these key columns, order ID key columns. So each order ID key column in the fact table, it will be always duplicated, right? Fact table will have multiple, that will not be unique ID in the fact table, right? So it will have many transactions in that fact table. So among those, transactions, we want to pick only one transaction in in those cases. So each of these transaction will there will be many transaction for each key, each of the orders. Okay, maybe many transactions are there for each of the orders in the fact table, right? Or with the customers, maybe one customer has many transactions. So we want to pick some data for per row uh, for the customer, one row each customer. So in that case, we'll have some logic applied, right? That we want to, either we want to maximum, we want to do some aggregated, we want to use some aggregation, right? In that case, that either we want to get the aggregated data, maximum data, okay, the customer, what was the maximum amount for which orders have been placed. So like that, there will be some logical thinking, right, on that. But in this case, what uh, what Sekhar has asked, like if we just do the simple without without thinking any other things, right? Any other scenarios, we are just, if you are just checking this and removing the column, right? Removing any removing any rows, removing the duplicate rows. So which row will be removed in this case? Among all of this duplicate data, which row will be removed? Fine. Even I don't know this answer till now. Okay. So I will get this answer data. Okay, and this is one of the, I felt like, okay, this is one of the question that is very good, and many people have this answer. Many people have this question in their mind. Okay, and Shekhar, I will get this answer. Okay, for you, but this 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 scenario you are saying, right? We are not, we never work on this kind scenario. What we work, right? Mostly we see the data like revenue. Okay, this revenue, and based on some date or based on some other value, we want to pick a single row. Okay, and that should be depending, this revenue column, maybe this will be depending on some date, or this will be depending on some key columns. Okay, some such columns which we can aggregate, which we can find, where we can find a single data, right? And based on that, we can get any of the value. And you, if you have SQL knowledge, then you will know that just by getting the aggregate information, right? Whether maximum of the date based on some key columns, right? We are getting maximum date, and joining those data only, and we are getting whatever data required among the other columns, right? If we have some duplicate columns. So this kind of scenario will be there, and this is one of the scenario, one of the very good question. Like this is some logical, we should. This is the question related to the Power BI technique, right? How Power BI removes the data, like in the case of truncate and all those things in database, right? How it is removing from top to bottom, or however it is, uh, however it has stored the data in database files, right? It will be removing like that. So I have to get the answer. This Shekhar, I have to get this answer. Even I don't know. Okay, and I
Sure.
will check. Yeah, and the other things, like if you want to get some particular value, then we will see that thing in the means other classes, later classes, when we just do the DAX and all those things, using M language also. We will see all of these things, like to get the particular data among the other values, right? Among the replicate values, to get a particular row, how we can get that row, we will be working on those in the later classes. Okay, so now okay, fine. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to see the different different operations, row operations and column operations. So we were already seeing the row operations. So removing the duplicate, removing the top rows, and on all these steps we have applied. Fine, duplicates and all those things. So today, and filters. So I think you should be okay with all of these things. And now today we will see how we can apply the column operations. So column operations, we may have already applied. Okay, remove columns. So one of the operations we have done, removed columns. So other operations, what you will be able to do with the columns. Fine. You have to always check your data for performing any of the operations. One of the thing is, like, okay, your customer will want to have some particular naming convention, right, of your columns and all those things. So you can always rename it, either in the reporting area also and here also. So wherever you want. So you want to rename your column, maybe. So these are IDs column. So this order date. So I want to change it to okay, some order date, and I want to do init cap. Fine. So how I can do, just double click it, right? Just double click, and this is done. Fine. So likewise, you can change any other names. You can rename any other names in the Power BI. Fine. And what else you can do? You can arrange your columns move your columns here to there. These columns, maybe all the logical columns, all the related columns, you want to keep it together. This column and this column. Maybe you want to move it to the order and delivery side, this at the same place, maybe. Okay, so you can just move it just by dragging. Okay, you can select both of the columns and drag to that place where you want to put it. So that will not do that will not uh, impact your data, underlying data. Okay, just that is we are just doing it in this steps. Fine. And underlying data will be same. The columns will be same, everything will be same. So here you can see all of these steps, right? Whatever steps are there, this is independent of the later steps, the next steps. And these steps are dependent on the previous steps. Fine. These steps are dependent on the previous steps. Right. Now, there was a question, right? That how if we have a sheet created, if we have a model created, how we can use the different source, like different data, to use the same model, right? What you can do, you can just go to the data source. Here you can see the data source option under home ribbon. Here you have the data source option, right? Go to this data source and you have to just link this file, right? Link this file with the data source. Okay, so that using this and any data source you want to link, right? You can link it, and that should have the same structure. Okay, that data source should have the same structure, whatever you are using here. Fine. So that you have to do, you have to work on, and yeah. Now the next step is, so we have seen how we can just create a column. There was a first so now we have seen how we can remove rows, blank rows, and all those rows, junk rows, or filter the rows, right? And we can also remove the columns, reorder the columns that we have just done. We can even based on the, you can check the quality of this data. Here you can see 99% is empty, right? You can also check this data. What is the data? All are blank and NA. So you can remove. This is not required, right? Uh, Based on the quality of the data, you can see here we are able to see also NA data. So we can also go into this and check what are the data available here. So we have all the NA data. So we can just remove that data. We don't want to keep this. This is of no value, right? So this we have removed. So similarly, you can check, you can do these basic row and column operations. Fine. If you want to also remove some columns, right? Remove any columns, right? You can directly go here and do the remove, or you can even remove from here. Okay, and choose a column. You can choose a column or go to a column. Okay, so these things, okay, fine. You have to these are some basic operations. Now we'll see one of the very important operations we have in the during our first class, right? Yesterday, last class, we had disabled the data type, right? Here, if you see, let's see one of the visualization. We just want to create a visualization. Let's see. We want to see our data. We want to see our sales, okay, or the stocks revenue. Fine. We want to see a revenue by some maybe dates. Okay. We want to see our revenue. Just let's go to this and apply this. We have our data, right? And let's see. And we want to see the revenue here. Fine. Revenue data. And what we have to do, we are not going to see, discuss this. We will discuss the charts and all these later. Okay. Once we have this done. So we can just have the revenue in the x-axis. Okay. So now you can see this is just giving me the count of revenue, but I should have the actual data. I should have the revenue value, right? If I go to this place x-axis, right? I just have the option to count the value. I don't see any other options here. Okay, this is where this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, right? In the visualization. So the data I see here is not giving me the correct value. It is just giving me the count of the number of rows in the revenue, right? And I don't get the correct data. So why that is so? That is because of the reason that we have not set the proper data types. I just want to remove the so view and column quality. I want to just remove, hide it. So now I want to set all of the data types. Okay, right? So data types for all of the columns to use it properly with the visualization. So you should understand one thing. Power BI will always use the aggregate information, aggregate data, right? Whether it is count, whether it is sum, whether it is something else, totals, average, or whatever it is. So it will always use the aggregate information to show in the charts, and you will know why that is so. Why those are used. So all mostly Tableau also use the similar concept. This Power BI also use the similar concept, right? And everything. So for that reason, we need to have a proper data types set. Otherwise, it will not be able to use the measures, proper measures with the data, right? Now here, what are the data types we have? So this unique column, this is one of the data type which is number type. And how we can change it? We can change it by clicking here. Here you can see ABC, right? Here it will change the data type, and you can change just by clicking there. You can change it to whole number type or any other format. Any other type you can change it to, right? So similarly, you have this product. So this product should be in the same text format, string type, right? And store ID, it is also the same string type. By seeing this data, you will be able to say like what should be the type of this data. Here, we'll just go to the dates later. Let's see. We have these, data as a revenue, fine, stock, and these things. So revenue will be what data type it should be. It revenue is the currency data, fine. Price is the currency data, so it should be set to currency data, right? And this currency data is nothing but the here it is fixed decimal number, right? So it will have 2 decimal point data here. You can see. So this is changed to currency data, right? And we see some of the errors. Okay, we will use this later maybe. So we see some of the error here. Any data, fine. We can go to this error. So this error also should be reflected in the ribbon. Okay, now it is come, right? So once you have an error, right? Once you have an error here, you can see this ribbon has, is colored and giving me the showing me that this is red. That means we have some error in this data set. Fine. And why that is so? Because of there is a value, any value is there. So if we see the entire row, maybe this row has data which is entirely NA. So we can filter that data out, 28. So we can just filter that data out, right? And the entire row is having NA. This data type is not, and we'll see in other cases what is the different scenario it may have, right? For now, I'll just go back and first remove the NA value from here. Okay, I don't want to remove the NA value from here. Just want to remove the NA value from here, maybe, and I don't want this is removed. So all of those NA values are removed. Also, we don't have any empty cells. Now, I want to change this stock to whole number. This will be in numbers. And if we have any error, you will see here in this case, right? And this one also, this should be a currency data, fixed decimal. So similarly, now you will see that there is no error. So there is no red color here. So we have already seen green color means everything is fine and all of the cells having data. And this, black one, right? This is showing empty space. This is showing empty cells. And these greens are showing all the correct data. And any red is showing error. Fine. Now this will be in the same string format. This will be also a string format, a string, and prices will be prices has to be the so let's see now the revenue, right? Revenue we have used in the fine revenue we have used in the visualization. Let's see the revenue. So here now we have this revenue and still it is count. Let's see what are the different options we have now, right? We have now we have got many more options, right? We have got the aggregation options, some options, this average, minimum, maximum. So based on this data type, now this is changed, right? This is now sum of revenue, or you can get the minimum revenue, maximum revenue. All of that data you are able to, get from using this measure, right? Because of the data set, because of the data types set we have we have set there, right? So that will give you the now that is giving me the options that is allowing to do the different aggregations based on the data type. Now whatever data types we will be having, based on that data type, right, all of the actions will be performed, right? We have here now dates. So all of the other data types, number data types, whole number data types, and all of this we have just seen. This is price. Okay, we'll see it because we may have an issue and we'll see that issue. We have the date types. We want to change the date types, right, to date. So this is in the date format, and you can also see this is having the same format. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
So we can delete this date, right? Order date, because we have a two dates over there.
Yeah, yes. So if you have the same date, so we have, here we have just for some reason, okay, just we are seeing some, different things, right? We any duplicate things, right? You have in your actual data set, right? You have to remove that. Maybe you have the same order date duplicated, and if you are using it for different reason, that's fine, right? But here uh, we have for some other reason, different reason, and we just wanted to maybe this data set is not picked properly. see here, what is the region? See, are you able to see that 02, 01, 02, 2017? But here we have 02 Jan 2017, right? These are in different format, right? These are in different format. So for that reason, these are there, right? We want to just see some of the capabilities. Okay. For that reason, we have this data set. So you can remove, okay, whenever you have such thing which is duplicate column or duplicate things, right? You can always remove from your data set when you are working in a project. Okay, you should not keep also the thing that will take space, that will degrade the uh, you know if you have millions of rows and one column, extra column is there, you will know that how much space it takes, right? So that's fine. Now here we have for some reason. What is that reason? We'll see. We are just changing this to order date to date type. Okay, and date time we will have also the time, with this date, and here we just changing to date. This is changed to date. Now next one we are going to change it as the date, right? Now you can see what was the reason. Both of these were in two different format, right? Both of the days were into different format, and now you can see after we have changed these to date format, both are in sync, both are of the same format, right?
So
So
like
that's
whatever the changes we are doing in this Power Query, so it won't be affected in CSV file.
yeah, it won't be affected. So whatever, not only in CSV, whatever previous steps are there, okay,
Okay.
so these are the previous steps, right? So whatever previous steps are there, it will not affect any of these steps. All are
So
independent.
what if we like, for example, if we open
Hmm.
the Excel file and we do changes, so it will be
Hmm.
affected in this?
Correct. It will be affected in this. So if you
Okay.
are changing anything in the source, right? So that will be affected. That will affect your other things. Okay. So if you are removing a column, maybe from the this one, right, source, and it is not available, you have already created this, right? These steps, and the source is not finding that, right? That time it will give some error. Okay, so that's why you need to have the everything, whatever source will have, you need to have the similar things in your file. Here you can see this file is having two rows, okay, which we are removing. But if you have a data set which starts the column from the first row, right, and you are removing these two rows, these are fixed steps, right? So in that case, your columns will be removed, and then the header will be applied. That will not be correct, right? So the everything, these are all fixed. All these on your data source data, it will apply all these steps. So you have to take care of that when you are using any data, okay, and when you are applying
So
any steps.
can we create a new row in this? Like for example, if we think like we can
Ah,
add another row like
hmm,
profit or some margin. So we can we
hmm.
add it like a manually in this, like we do in Excel,
No,
or is that?
no. In Excel only you have to apply that one in source. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, so you will not be apply. You will apply in these steps. Create a
Like
row.
as we are like removing the columns and rows, so why
Ah,
don't we can't able to add in this, right? In Power
yeah.
Query.
So no. You can create the columns, duplicate the columns. Okay, and we
Mhm.
will see that is again advanced things. Again here you can see, right, add columns and all. So
Yeah.
we'll see all of these options. Okay, how we can add columns and all those things. So those steps again we'll see all of those things. Okay, but creating a data set into this, okay, that will not be done in the source. Fine. And yeah, that again, that can be, we can use some functions to insert the data. That will be again a different thing, right? So will those will be some advanced things. So again, to create a column, that is fine. We can create a column. But if you are saying that inserting a data directly from here using steps directly, so we cannot do that in the data set. But we will be able to create. We'll see all of those things in DAX, like how we can uh, create the data set, different data using this data and all. So all those things we'll see, and you can create an even manual tables here, even in this Power BI. In the report itself, you can create a table and all those things. So we'll see all those in the later classes, advanced classes later. First, we'll see what are the different rows we like the operations we are having right now, the basic operations. Fine. So we were seeing what we were seeing. We are just seeing the data type. So date data type, right? So do you have any such Sekar, do you have any such requirement where you want to add some data into your file, into the source data like this? I don't think this kind of requirement will be there. But even if it is there, it is always taken care by the source team, dataset team. Okay, because this should be always coming from the data source. Whatever the addition of data in the source file, right? This will always be done using the data source, and yeah. Anything you want to say?
So can we can we from the for example, as we said, like we will be having the we have chosen order date because of some kind of reason. So
Huh.
why can't we create a two visuals from the one order date? It will be saves less space, right?
Two visuals from the same order date.
Yeah. For example, the
Yeah.
max date or something. Why did we choose two order date? Because
No,
anyhow
no,
it's
no.
showing the
No,
same,
no,
right?
no. Okay, okay. Here order date, it is not for that reason. Okay. We can remove it. Okay. This is what we wanted to show here. Okay. This order date, we did not keep it for that reason. Okay. We just want to show here the difference in format. Here you can see 0102, 02 Jan. So we want to show that if we are applying the date format, okay, whatever date format it is having, it is changing to the same format. See here. So that is the reason, just to show you, okay, that
Okay,
what
okay.
effect it has. Like if you are changing a data type, right? So how it is changing. It is not for the reason that we want to calculate something for using this and something different using this. It's not like that. So we will be calculating everything from the one date itself. We don't want to use the other date for the same date, dates, right? We don't want to use the other column. This will even increase the space in our memory. So we don't want to have this kind of scenario. We would like to always reduce the columns. We would not like to increase the unwanted columns. Okay. So whatever required columns, we just want to add those columns only. Fine. In our
So we have
model.
to change every data type of the columns, right?
Correct.
Before doing. Okay.
Correct. So otherwise your visuals or aggregation properties, all those things will not work properly. Okay. If you don't have this everything set, if you don't have a proper data type set, right, you will face lot of issues. Okay. And you may be struggling somewhere, right? And one of these date scenario we'll see also here. That's why we have the different date regions here. We are seeing date format 1, date format 2, right? So there are so many formats we have, right? So we want to see all of these, like how let's see, we want to change this date format, right? And we are changing this date to this format. So this is 5, then 4, this is first month, then date, okay? And I think all of these are set to India, maybe local, but we have set. So this is again, now there will be some issues with this date format, because see, both of these dates are same. Okay, both of these dates are same, but you can see one date is having different format and another date is having different format. In case of order date and order date 2, you are seeing both of these dates are in the same format, right? Month, maybe then date, then year. Here you are having different format. Here it say uh, 0501 2017, 0105 2017. So definitely there will be some error. Let's see in the bottom data set. See here, we are having some error. Why? So these are the format. See, these are the format 1501 2017. First day, then month, then year. This is the format day, month, year, right? But in the other case, the last delivery date here you can see first is month, then day, then year. Okay. So here, such scenarios you have to also check all of these data types, right? These may arise, right? You may have these kind of issues. So what is the reason for this date, this error? Let's see. The error is we could not pass the input provided as date value. So it is not able to recognize this date value, right? So this date is having like the date format of India. This is the input value, right? This is the input value, and 13/1/2017. That means like India, we have in India this date format, but in US, what is the date format? The date format in US is like first month, then day, then year, or the date format in Europe is again different than US. So we were talking about local setting, right? In the very last class, that why that local setting is very important. Okay, because see, different countries have different locals. Okay, for them available with them, right? So in these kind of scenarios, these local will be working this local will be having effect on your data. Fine. Now you can see this is India format, and but this is different format, right? So what we have to change, we have to the input value, it is not able to recognize the date. This date is not able to recognize the input value, right? So that means we have to correct, we have to do some take some action on this. So what we can do, we have to check the local, like from where this date format has come. Okay, what is the input value of this date format? So using this local, okay, that can be changed using a local. Here you can see using a local. So what we have to do, first we have to remove this step, and then we have to change the date using a local. Let's see. So here you can see this is English India text format. So if we are just seeing the date, the English India is this date format, right? So we had this data, and we have to use the local in that. Fine. Now this local is changed to English India. Before data type set, let's see what is the local in this. Now we'll see the local is English India. Now we have what data we have here. We have month, then day, then year. Okay, month, day, year is which format? US format. So we have to set. We don't have the data in this format, right? This is the input format we have to give for this data set. Here we have the day, month, and year. But in our input data, what we have? We have the month, day, and year. Okay. So what is the local we have to use? we have to use some US local.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
So while yesterday, we did a setting, we set it as the US, right? Why it's
Correct.
coming as in India by
Uh,
default?
let's. I think need to check the current file. What is that? So I need to check that. Okay.
Okay.
Here, so we have to. We have this data, right? Okay, fine. Now let's see first this. Okay. Change this. Change type with local, right? So this is now. Uh, uh, so it should be corrected. 1 second. Just a second. Okay. So it should give the data, which is I could not pass the. Okay, this is India local only. Okay, this is India date format only. So this is the input date in this format. So we need to have the same date format. That's fine. Filtered rows and delivery date. Here we have the date in the same format. So this is so using local and in this date format.
So how you choose how you get that red mark under it?
Yeah, yes. So this red mark, that's what I said, like that red mark is coming because of the error. Any underlying error, okay? If you are
Hmm.
changing anything, suppose I'm changing this one to number format, whole number, okay? So you will see this is not number, right? This is having some text, zero
Yeah, yeah.
cells, right?
Okay.
So it will automatically, that's what this Power BI will do. Like it will show you any error in the calculation, any error in the data, okay, any empty data. So this color ribbon, this ribbon is there, right? Green color. So green color means all good. So if you have black, that means you have empty cells. Okay. If you have red, that means there is some error for that column,
Okay.
right?
Thank
Right. So now, what we have seen that this was the fine. This the date in this delivery date, right? This was working fine. So let's see this date, and we have seen okay. This change type we just remove. Right? We have to see this date. Maybe I think we had issues with this date. Okay, we don't have issues with this. Fine. Okay, great. Okay, so I think okay, this date was already in US format. Okay, this date was already in US format, and now it is changed to uh, this data is already in US format, and it is you can just check by local, right? What is the format? And I think this is again. Let's see the date format. Input values are these. Okay, this is India format, and I think this is already in the US format, so this is fine. Okay, so you now you can see the data whatever we have here, right? The date is changed to US format. Fine. Uh, Here this order date and this date you can check. You can just select 2 3 columns at a time and change the data type. So this you can do. Fine. And yeah. So there was a question. Fine. So this is now this delivery date is delivery date format 2 is set, right? And how it is set? Because of using the local. Okay, it was having the input data with India format. Okay, it was having a input data with India format, but it was uh, trying to get the format of US. Okay, that's where the issue was, and that's what we had set in our uh, settings, right? File settings. Here you can see the options, and this one we have set. Oh, sorry. Options, and this option settings. We have set our regional settings, English, United States, and also in the current file. Let's see. Also United States. So it is getting it is trying to get all the formats in US format. Okay, that's what it is trying to do. It is trying to identify all the data in the US format, right? But we had the date in the India format. Here the delivery date format 2 was there with the India format. So we had to specifically tell, we had to say Power BI that this date is India format. So you identify as India format date and change it to the correct date format, the US date format, right? So now you got the answer, like why we had changed the format, but these dates these dates are in US format only. Now we have month, day, and year. Okay, earlier we had here day, month, and year in this delivery date format 2. Okay, and that's why it was not able to identify the date. Now we have changed everything to day, date, month, then day and year. So this format. So now you can see in this local, and you can check the date format and this data format, and in US. So okay, no need to check this. So we have already set this format, right, to US format, and input format we have said that this is India input format. So that's how it will take the data. Okay, you have any question on this?
No, sir.
So I think yeah, it may be for now it may be somewhat what you can say maybe confusing for local. Okay, and other data set is fine. Other data types are straightforward, so you can just check any other data set here. If you want to set data types for two different or similar uh, columns, right? If you want to set the data format, uh, data types for similar column, you can select uh, all the columns at once by just pressing control button and select all of the columns, and you can change the format. Right click on this and you can get change the type. Here you can see change the type and change the format to some other fixed decimal. What you have to do, you have to select all of the columns at once, just by pressing the control button, and select all the column and change the type, okay, to whichever required form you want to change it. Fine. So now it is changed. So almost all of the data types are set. Fine. But we want to we have some issues with this cells. Maybe we want to use the cells Okay, in the visualization, we want to know the total sales. So to use the total sales, we don't have the required data, right? We don't have the data in the format we want to use. We to have this, data sales, to calculate the total sales. What we need? We need to have all the numbers, right? And we don't want to see the string. Fine. For all of these, right? For all of these kind of issues, like to get the proper data, like to extract some data out of this, right? So what we can do? Let's see. What are the options we have to check this data? We'll just see now the how we can replace data. And okay, one of the options we wanted to see also, there should be some error in some of the columns in this case, right? But I don't see the red ribbon. It should give the red color if we had some error. Let's see if we have any error. Okay, if we have error, okay, we have error. Fine. But see, this has not given me the red color here, but it should give me the red color. Okay, maybe because of some processing. Okay, inside or caching. Okay, something is there which is not providing the correct information here in the with this color. Okay, it should have given me red color, right? With this ribbon. But you can see here, we have some issues with this data price. If we use this price in any visualization, right? Let's see the average price. We want to see the average price. And you can see that loading this is giving me error, that we have some error. Okay, 624 errors we have. Fine. So we have to remove those errors before we use the data. Fine. That will and what is that error because of? Let's see the error in the now you get the red color, right? So because of that, because of some caching or some issues were there, right? Because and it may sometime immediately it is not visible. So you can check all of this, right? Or you can just refresh preview to see it, right? Now you can see we get the red color, and we have some issues with this column. So we have to fix those issues. Now what is the issue? We'll just click on that error, and we are seeing something like we could not convert to number. This we have converted the price column to number type, right? But there are some values, any values, which is not converted to numbers, right? So that means we are getting the error because of the any values. So how we can fix this kind of thing? How we can do? How we can fix all of these errors? Okay, so there are some options, like we can just remove the error rows. Here you can see remove the error rows. So what this will do? This will remove all of the rows which has error, right? And that will not be a correct thing for us. That the error may be in only one column, and we have other valid columns, right? So in that case, we don't want to touch our data. In this case, we don't want to do any changes in our data. Only we have to handle this error in this column, price column, right? So what we can do? We can One thing we can do is we can change the underlying values. Okay, replace the underlying values. So NA values with some other number types values, 0, or we can just have it as blank. So what we can, in that case, how we can, do that? Let's see. If you want to just replace those NA values, can we do it from here now? Let's see. Do we have this, NA value available here? It says, what it says, enter a number value. Because we have set this as a number type, so it is looking for number type values, right? So we have to go back one step and change the underlying value, right? We have to go back one step, we have to go back and change the underlying value in this column. Fine, let's see. And also, because of this error, we don't have the gear options also. So all of the formatting we have applied in other columns, those will be also lost, because this has been done in one step. Fine. So one option is to uh, replace the underlying values, or other option is to just replace the errors. How we can replace? Go to the transform ribbon. Okay. Here you can see replace values. Under transform ribbon, here you have the option called replace values, right? And you can see replace errors. So you can replace the errors to something like 0, right? So that is the one option you can do, and all of the errors are gone now, right? The other option is to just replace the underlying values, right? Replace the values called NA, but because of this number type, it is not allowing me to do this replacement. So what we can do, we have to go one step back. Now first we have to replace the underlying values. We can replace the underlying values with this tool also. Replace values from here, home ribbon also. We have the replace value option in home ribbon as well as in the transform, right? So both of these places we have the replace value. So we want to replace the NA value either to blank. This is blank, so we can replace the NA value to blank or with to 0. Fine. So this will replace the underlying value. Now if we change this data type, this and this will be same. Fine. And we want to change this type to the fixed number, because these are currency data, right? Change to fixed number. And you can see this, because of the local, it is giving me the dollar sign. Okay, because we have set the US local, right? If you have India local, it will also give me some other sign. Also, you can change these signs. Okay, you can change all of this formatting. Fine, we'll see. And this now you don't have any error in this. We can also change the stock to number type, whole number type. Fine, and all other will remain. Okay, the date format. Okay, only one date format we have, and all other dates we have lost, just the all other date format. Okay, so now we can just change the type to all of these two dates. So together it is just changed. Fine. And similarly we can have it as a number type, or as this is a key column, many people prefer to have it as string type, and many people have it as number type. String type will store more space, right? And number type will store less space. If you are concerned about the space and all those things, you can always use this as number type. Fine, but you should always remember that if it is changed to number type, this will always try to aggregate. Okay, whenever you are using it in a visual, so that you don't want to do. Fine. Now the other things we wanted to see is here you can see the cells. We have the cells. So how we can get only the numbers from here? Can someone tell me that how we can only just get the numbers?
Have to remove the cells with blank.
Replace.
Yes, correct, correct. So we have just used this replace values, right? We can actually we have few more options. We'll see also those options, right? Now the options we have just used is replace values. So we have a fixed length value here. We have number, and then we have fixed information like space, then cells. This is fixed. Okay? So this is easy for us just to replace this value, right? And we can space this space then cells and replace with the empty value, right? So this is so easy, and it can be done. Now it can be easily changed to number type. So this is a whole number type cells. So now we can use this in our visualization. Fine. If we just want to use the cells, number of cells, fine, and we want to get the number of cells, we can just have it in the same visuals. Maybe we have the revenue, and we want to also get the number of cells, so we can just have in the same axis. Okay, so this way we can also get these visualizations. If we had some other columns here like dates and all, so monthly, now you will see all of these. Okay, again here you see the dates in these field area, right? You see all the dates are having now calendar associated with it. All the number types having this summation sigma associated with it. These are all string columns. So that's how you will also be able to identify all of your columns in the work area here in the reporting area, right? This is the report, and this is having raw data. So you will see this raw data, whatever raw data is whatever applied steps are there. After that step, whatever data we have got, right? That data we are seeing in this data view. Okay, so we are having the raw data, whatever we are using in our visuals. So if you have any issues with your visuals, so you may want to directly check the raw data. Okay, whether we have any issues with our data, maybe something is missed in the data, so you may want to check your data, raw data in this place, right? From if you have any issues with your visualizations, so that you can that will be seeing many things we'll be seeing later. And this is model, so we'll see like, okay, this now we have just included, we have just imported this Excel file, and this is there in the model. So if we have more data sources, more files, then definitely we have to create a model, joins, and all those things. So we'll see these things later. But for now, what we have just seen, we have just seen how we can replace the values. Fine. So similar options, we have the other options, and let's see one of the more one of such options is
So, when we were replacing this value sales, and if a space is left behind, how a trailing space is left behind, how will it act, and how can we detect it?
Yes, yes. So that will again we'll also see in the later classes. Like we have the string operations, we have the number operations. Okay, we are going to see that in the next. Okay, just in the next class, maybe tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow
And
we are going to.
will that give us an error?
No, no, no. If you are changing it to, if you are changing it to, some number type or something like that, right? So if you have if it is not a number type, right? So in that case, it will definitely give you error. Okay. If you have some other strings, some other characters, right?
Okay.
So that will give you some error. And some intelligent functions are also there, like which is automatically removing spaces and all those things, right? So we will need to see like how manually we can do all of those things. If we have some issues, if you have data such data where we have to perform it well, right? In this case, like we are removing the cells, right? And we may have some space. Let's see, just here. Okay. In this case, you can always check all of these things. Okay. That if you have this scenario, whatever just you have said, and you want to just keep the you want to just remove the cells, fine, and you are not removing the space. So what will happen? It is having a space. Okay. Now let's try to change it to the other format, like number format. Okay. Whole number format. So it is automatically removing the space in this number type, right?
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Some of the intelligence, many of the intelligent functions is there with this Power BI. But if you have some characters which are not removed, okay, automatically, right? In this case, that will be you have to do it manually. Okay, those functions will be able to. We'll just check. We'll check
Okay.
it in the next class. Fine.
Got
So yeah, the other options. What we have just seen the replace function, right? We have another options to get the same data. Like we just want to have these numbers, right? So we have some other options to get the numbers. How we can get the numbers using some functions. So we have another functions called extract. Okay, another tool called extract, where we can just extract these values, or we can extract based on some other uh, you know uh, some other option. Let's see, that extract function is available in the transform ribbon. Okay, here you can see extract. So this will extract some of the data, whatever you want to extract. You can extract using this. Using this, here you can see what we have. We can extract using a length. Okay, we want to just two character. We want to first characters, last character, range of characters. Okay, text before delimiter, text after delimiter, text between delimiters. So whatever data you want to extract, you can extract using these options. So in this case, which of the options will be better? So if you have these cells, 0 cells, and we want to extract the information, so what is the option we can use here? Length, first characters, last characters, or range? What are the options we can use?
first character.
First character.
No, here see, here we are seeing whatever visible to us, we are just seeing that, right? Visible to us is one character only, like 1 digit, but we may have 2 digit, 3 digit also in the file. But for now, we are just seeing here whatever visible to our eyes, it is just one character, right? So
Then
that
text before delimiter.
correct. So text
Yeah.
before delimiter. Okay. So using what is the delimiter here? Delimiter is space, right? So this is how you can just get the just space, and whatever data is there, text before delimiter, you will just get it. And how easy it is. So we'll see the more of these tools in the next class, right? And that's all we have for today's class. So we have just seen the replace values, extract values. We will see how to split the columns, how to do some more extraction using different functions, options. So all of those things we'll just we'll see in the next class. Fine. Do you have any question till now?
So after we are done with all the cleaning here, can we export the CSV or Excel file from here?
From here we have the option to, right. Let's see. Like I have not exported this data. So from visual we can, visual we can export the data. Fine.
But that will give us an aggregated number. We want to extract the row wise.
So you want to extract this data, right, from here?
Yes.
So
After cleaning.
I have to check this option. I have not done this extraction from here. Okay. So I need to check whether we can extract it somehow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that I will let you know in the next class. Fine.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. Yeah, that's all we have for today's session, and yeah, we'll see tomorrow. Then we'll discuss the other options. So tomorrow we'll discuss the string operations, okay, and then we'll see the number operations, basic number operations, and then we'll also start looking at the different visuals. And whatever questions you have, you can just post in the groups so that I can also know what are the questions are there, and we can also address those questions. Fine. Yeah.
Hi, sir. Here, just one doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, can you please go to the data field?
Data.
Yeah. First, it's like order ID is unique, right? At first, it is a string. Okay, we gave as a string. So still, it will accept. So it will convert that numbers as a string, or what? How it is accepting? So it is not throwing error. It is accepting.
So,
my doubt is it is considering this numbers as a string. So
no, numbers as a string, I don't get you. Like what you are.
Yeah, okay, sir. First order ID is like, can you open Power Query, sir, once? So it will be easy.
Sure. Yes.
Yes, sir. For the first order ID, can you please change the data type to text or? Yeah.
This one? Yes. Text.
Yeah, it's not throwing error. It is still accepting. So my doubt is like, it's a number, right? So in background, it is converting as strings or how?
No, it is now a string type. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it means
you
it in during during visualizations, it will give strings operations, right? It will not consider this as a number, so it will not give aggregates and all.
Correct. So let's see if you are just using this order ID as in aggregation, right, in a visual.
Yes, sir.
Just let's check. Okay. So if you are using this as a visual in this as a visual, and let's just aggregate the data in some visual, and you want to use the order ID. Okay. So we'll just have the order ID somewhere. This is order ID, nah?
Yes.
And you can see also this icon is not number type. Okay. And
Yes.
this is, so now it is giving you the only count. Okay. If you see the aggregate is not available for this. The sums and all those things. In case of this other one, right? If it is a number
Yes.
type, here you can see. If it's a number type, then you can see all of these aggregates options, like sum, average, and all those things. So whatever data type you set, right, based on that data type, only your aggregation and all those things will happen.
Okay, got it. Yes.
Okay. So that's why it is very important to set the data type correctly. Okay. If you don't have your data type correctly, then it will definitely, you will face some issues. Okay. You have to.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see then in the next class the string operations and all those operations. And then we'll go to the visuals. And on I will check. I'll check on the data whether we can import that data, from this data pane or not. I will check this information. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay then.
Yes, sir, why
Thank
we
you.
said that local for English, sir, United States? Why not India?
Which local? India we have
Like
no.
for dates,
So
sir, actually date format. Okay.
yeah. So here you can see. Okay. Yeah. That is one of the question that will confuse many of the people. Okay. So if you go to this local settings, so what we had seen that if we had seen this data, raw data, fine, and okay, this is source, and just something had happened. Can type. I'll go back. I'll open back. Okay. See here. Now you are confused with this data local setting, right? So
Yes, sir.
what was happening? That different date format, input dates. Whenever it is changed to some date format, it is seeing the local setting of our file. This local setting. Here we have the
Yes.
current file settings, right? Current file settings and regional settings we have here. In this case, US English,
So
right?
why we said this US? My doubt is like, why not India here?
Okay. Why? Okay, you can set any place, right? You can set India, you can set US. So it is based on your data set, like whatever data set you have, right? Based on
Okay.
that, you can set your local and
Okay.
what. Yeah. So now you had seen, right, in this case that we had the data set mostly set for US. Okay, this date is was in US format, and this also was in US format. First it was in month, then date, then something this is something else, year, but the delivery to date format too, right? This was in India format, so it was not able to change to the correct format, right? Input value was India format, so we had to change it to US format. So we are specifically saying that okay, this is India format date, so you consider it as India format date and change it to US format. Okay, so that's why we had given the local setting. So this was asking for the input value and the settings of the input value, right?
Okay, it's
So
like by
that's why.
default values, right? So if we set India means it will check for India's input values.
Correct. So that way it will
Okay,
be
got it.
happening. Hmm.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
fine. So yes, okay. Then that's all. We'll see tomorrow then. Yeah, we'll meet tomorrow and we'll discuss the next sessions. Thank you. Thank you for joining, and we see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Any other doubt?
No, sir. Cleared as of today.
Okay, fine. Thank you.